And we're live coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere deep in the heart of North American flyover country. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. And the way I've got my screen set up, I just see my hair above the YouTube screen. And boy, it just shocked me for a minute to see my hair so gray. But hey, I don't really care if it turns colors as long as it doesn't turn loose, ladies and gentlemen. One of the founding beliefs and tenets of this channel is that the so-called apostle Paul corrupted the message of the Christ, the message of divinity, sovereignty, and freedom, and turned it into a fear and guilt control matrix. Many of you don't know, and I haven't talked about this really too much since the first time I talked about it in January of 2014, and I'll link that video in the box below. But Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence, also wrote a declaration of spiritual independence. And it was Thomas Jefferson, and I didn't even know about this until after I wrote my first book, Apostle Paul Antichrist. But Thomas Jefferson also believed, like I believe, that Paul was the first great corrupter of the doctrines and teachings of the Christ, and that the Bible is at best, a mixed bag. Let me give you a couple of quotes from Thomas Jefferson. This was written to W. Short, October 31st, 1819. But the greatest of all reformers of the depraved religion of his own country was Jesus of Nazareth, abstracting what is really his from the rubbish in which it is buried, easily distinguished by its luster from the dross of his biographers, and as separable from that as the diamond from the dung, we have the outlines of a system of the most sublime morality which has ever fallen from the lips of man. And then later in 1804, to John Adams, Jefferson wrote, in the New Testament, there's internal evidence that parts of it have proceeded from an extraordinary man, and that other parts are the fabric of very inferior minds. It's easy to separate those parts as it is to pick out diamonds from a dunghill. Jefferson also wrote that Paul was the first great corrupter of the doctrines of Christ. I'm not the first guy with Jeff in his name to think this up. And to be able to say that the writer of the great Declaration of Independence, probably the quintessential doctrine of political and moral freedom ever penned by human hands, wasn't the greatest work of Thomas Jefferson, but this declaration of spiritual independence, that the Bible is a mixture of dung and diamond, and that Paul corrupted the doctrines of the Christ, and that it's up to us to sift through the dung for the diamonds. It's up to us to realize that what we've been taught about Jesus is not true, and it's up to us to search and to look and to find what's real. In short, folks, it's up to us to guide our own spirits, to master our own ascensions, to be our own gurus. It's up to us to ask questions. It's up to us to question answers. It's up to us to unindoctrinate ourselves. From the time of Thomas Jefferson, writer of the Declaration of Independence, third president of the United States, until today, April 4th, 2019, it's still our job. Spirituality is an inside job, and only you can do it for you. And I'm here to help you equip yourself towards that end. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, reminding you that you're the last generation of real humans, reminding you that you're the next generation of new gods, and encouraging you, along with Thomas Jefferson, to unindoctrinate yourself.